Good morning, boys and girls. I'm going to introduce our new noisy offering that I'm hoping you'll be able to help me, Mrs. Heatdirks, and Mr. Heatdirks. And it's a place that's very dear to our heart, and it's called the Aprakan Burn Center, and it's in Nicaragua. Now, Nicaragua is a country, and in Nicaragua, a lot of people there do not have a typical kitchen like we might have. What they have instead is an open flame where they cook their food. And a lot of times, if someone's making food, they'll boil water or oil or something like that over the fire. Now, earlier I showed you a picture of the hospital because what sometimes happens is that a child will be near the fire and maybe they'll bump the table or they'll fall, and either the fire or the pot of very hot liquid will fall on the child. Now, when this happens, the child's skin will get burned, which is a terrible, terrible type of wound to try and have heal. They must receive medical attention right away and to protect their skin so that they don't die. And so here's a little boy who was burned on his face, and he has a mask on his face to protect it. But he is going to need a lot of medical care in order to heal. This is someone's hands, a child's hands who was burned, that it's now healed. But as they grow, this skin will not stretch. And so they'll need to come back to the hospital to have skin grafts to cut open that skin and to put in new layers of skin so that they can continue to grow. Now, there is a hospital in Nicaragua that treats children who have terrible burns, but they rely on the donations of a lot of people around the world to pay for the children who come to use their services. And it's wonderful because these families may not be able to afford the care, but because so many people give of their money, they can get all of their medical attention for their children for free. Now, this little boy has burned his ankle, and this boy has gotten burned on his chest. And here at Aprakan, they are going to get the help they need. Now, Mr. Heatdirks there and myself have gone to Aprakan every summer for the last 7 years, along with our kids and along with other kids here from Westminster. And we'll go and we'll play with some of the patients. We'll do puppet shows to entertain them. And we'll go back into the hospital and we'll play with the kids. This little girl got her ear burned. So here's Christina playing with her and trying to distract her from her pain. We'll collect toys and things for the kids. And here's my daughter Elise, and she's making a little rubber band bracelet for this little girl here who's waiting for her appointment. And we'll do face painting. We just do a whole bunch of stuff when we go there. Well, one year when we were there, the inside of the hospital is kind of plain. So we made some decorations for the window, and they said, "Whoa, can you do more of those?" Well, this was just tissue paper, so it faded. So after about a week, they had to peel it off and throw it away. So the next year when we came, we said, okay, let's make these windows a little bit more exciting. So we cut out a bunch of shapes, and Mr. Heatdirks and I put these shapes on the window. And the stuff that we used is kind of like stained glass that the light will shine through it. And when we were working on this, it was so fun because there were kids who were just crying and crying and crying because they're in so much pain. And as we kept working, I could hear the moms starting to say, "Can you find the pink heart? Can you find the yellow star? Can you find the green bird?" And slowly kids started to stop crying and they were distracted from their pain. So we said, well, we need to do more of this. So they came to us and said, would you be willing to make the house for the families of the burned children? Would you be willing to give the house a little bit of an update? It's kind of plain. The sidewalk out in front isn't very nice. So we said, sure. So we planned, we thought, oh, okay, the inside's a little boring there. The bedrooms are a little boring. And good grief, they're so grateful because they get to stay there while their children are getting treated, which is sometimes it takes a long time. But we thought, you know what, let's make this look a little bit nicer. So we got to thinking and we got out some paint and we started to paint. So we started to paint the front, and then we started to paint the top there. And then we put some more paint over here, and we said, let's keep going. Let's do some more. We put a little mural over here. We painted the furniture, got rid of this couch that was all broken and ripped open. And we painted some more murals on the front. We made this entranceway green. And then we went inside. Oh, we even repainted all the games out on the sidewalk. We went inside and we noticed this tree. So I thought, what if we make the tree seem like it's inside? So we started to paint branches, and before we knew it, we had a painting of a tree on the inside. Notice the yellow walls. There I am. We drew and we painted and we brightened it up, and we worked and worked and worked for days. We decorated this wall and we made it yellow. We bought them new furniture. We spruced up this room. We got this furniture here. Oh my goodness, they loved it. This hallway was kind of yucky. We painted it. We added decorations. And those boring rooms, we decorated those too. We painted the walls. We drew designs. We painted it in, and it turned out awesome. Each of these guest rooms now are nice and colorful and decorated. And the people who were staying there could not thank us enough for making their rooms so much nicer, for giving them nice furniture to sit on, and they were so very grateful. So much so that just a few days later, they had a big celebration for the decorated guest house, and the kids from the African Burn Center who were able to leave came over, and they had this big, wonderful party. Now, you can only imagine what happened next. They said, listen, over in the hospital, a lot of the rooms are kind of boring. And here's a little guy here who came in just last week, and he's burned all over his body. His mom talked about the fact that she was so grateful to be able to come to this hospital, and look, there is the nicely, freshly painted house that she's staying in. But this poor little guy with those burns on his hands, he gets to look at the decoration that we put in there last year, but I would love to be able to have that room be brighter for him. So as he gets better, that these rooms can be a little more entertaining. It's something to look at. So I'm wondering if for the Noisy Offering, if you would be willing to bring money so that we can get some medical supplies for Nicaragua, that we can get them some new toys to play with because they spent a lot of time in the hospital, and that we can decorate some of the hospital rooms. Now, it costs about $500 probably for us to have paint and supplies for a room. So I thought we could at least get one room, but then I was wondering, could we get 2 rooms? Could we raise enough money for 3 rooms? I just can't wait to see what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks so that we can just be able to spread some love even more to the children in Nicaragua. Thanks so much.